Good evening, everyone. Today we are in Tuesday. As you can see, we are having 11th part for our live build session with this new tool plastic, new tool Tempest plastic. And just give me a second to tune the quality of the video and we will continue. Okay, so first of all, as you remember, we glued yesterday the part here in the nose area. As far as you can see, we have nice gap here, so I guess we will have to use a bit of putty. Also, we have something here and here. I guess it will be able, we will be able to scratch it, to scrape it. Then on the other side, I can see that there is almost perfect fitment, and the same can be said about the lower section of the fuselage. Okay, I would like to proceed with the lower part, and then we'll continue with the top section. So yesterday I saw that somebody was laughing at the amount of parts in this build. I mean, come on guys, just let me clear one thing, that we are not hurrying anywhere in this project. I'm trying to enjoy this together with you, and this is definitely not a speed build. So if you're looking for a project which will be finished in 2 hours, that's not possible. And the even better example for you, if you check any of the Czech modelers, their builds take more than a year to finish. That's in the best case. So I guess we are still doing quite fast, going quite fast, and in my opinion there is nowhere to hurry, and I'm happy to talk with you, to have these evenings with you, and obviously we are moving forward because fuselage will be glued, then we will have wings glued, and basically it will be almost over. Just paint the fuselage, paint the whole model, install landing gear, and that's pretty much all. Decals, some weathering. That's a matter of week and a half in my opinion. So just don't be mean in this thing, because it's not as easy as it seems to be. And in my opinion, it's better to be slow in this thing. And I would like to finally have something better in the joints between fuselage parts. So that's why I'm trying to do it a bit more thoroughly. And we will see how it will come out. I guess still sanding will be difficult to avoid, especially in the nose area. But let's hope that it will be reduced to the minimum amount, because otherwise it will be really fun. Okay, I'm trying to understand how it's better to push these parts, and it seems like no position of the clamps is a good one for this attachment. Okay. Also, I have one interesting thing from Czech company. I won't name it because only one of you is watching. So let's do this video with like kits. I will be telling you part by part what I got for this project. It will be more interesting in my opinion, and this way maybe it will be more engaging for you as well. Okay. Weather is still crazy here. It's windy, it's cold, and I'm not sure what is better, winter with snow or winter with such crazy wind when you don't even want to go outside, you know. Now I'm commuting only by car because it's really crazy weather, and I just don't want to be sick because of this. So it's better to use a car, stay safe. Moreover, yesterday was so sleepy that, I mean, it was surprising how car was driving on such road, because I was barely walking on the asphalt. It was that sleepy. Ice was covering like almost everything, and now it's just the wind as far as you can see, and I hope there won't be rain today, even though it was raining in some parts of the city. That's also Prague magic, I would say, that you go to one district and it's completely fine, and then you go to another one and there is like completely crazy rain with strong wind and other funny things together. In order to have the glue cure faster than what we usually have, I'm going to put some glue here on the tail area just to be sure that it glues properly. Okay. Maybe we can even use clamps, because otherwise it will be difficult to push these halves together. So here they are. Okay, and now we do it from the opposite side in order to get the right fitment. Also, one more thing I noticed, I would like to have the better connection between the tail landing gear area. So I put a bit more glue there in order to have the more tight join, I would say. Okay. Now we go with tail section. This one will be funny because here we have glue. We can install glue, or actually apply glue from the inside. Then we just press everything together with clamps. Let's leave it for a second. Meanwhile, I would like to take a look at wing parts. So as far as I can see, cockpit will be also serving as a guiding element for the wing parts because we have slots inside, installation slots. So we just assemble this wing into place. It looks like there won't be any problem with fitment. But okay, it will be interesting when we will attach the fuselage. Okay, so this tail area should be fine. Now we go with a tail fin. Here with tail fin it will be even easier because Eduard decided to do to divide the part here. As you can see, the leading edge is molded on the right half, so basically you won't have to deal with any seams here. That's really cool. It lets you forget about any problems here. But still we would use clamps. Oops, not the right. And like this, I guess. In order to have tail fixed properly in place. Yeah, cowling will be fine to sand. I'm already expecting this. Okay. I would be happy to know your methods for the fuselage gluing. How do you get rid of those gaps between fuselage halves? It would be interesting to know. Because frankly speaking, I do not consider myself as a really good in this. Somebody who can tackle every fuselage. So it would be interesting to know your secrets. What do you use for this? And of course we might try them in the next build altogether. It would be interesting to see. Okay, we have almost whole fuselage joined. As far as you can see, air intake will be quite funny because we have a tiny gap on the air intake. Cowling might be sanded. I think it will be looking good. And otherwise everything looks fine, more or less. So it will be interesting now how the... Thank you for the like. So as I promised, the envelope which I received is from HGW, and with the next like I will open it and we will check together what is there, because frankly speaking I don't know what is there. So it will be a surprise for all of us. And note that with extra thin glue you don't have to push parts immediately. You can push them a bit later in order to have the parts a bit melted, and then when you join them it will be easier to join because plastic will be ready to be glued together. So now I'm holding this last area. It seems to be more or less okay. I would like to control this tail surface. because it looks like it did not glue properly. So one more try. Hi, yeah, thanks. I wonder what you are building. It would be interesting to know. So the last step will be to glue this area in front of the cockpit. So we apply a bit of glue. I would be a bit more generous with glue here. So, and then I just squeeze it in order to get the plastic out. Seems to be okay. Don't forget to switch the stream to the HD quality, because then you will get completely different picture. Surprise, surprise. And I think it's important when you want to see more details in your stream. Okay, so this part seems to be ready to be released. As far as you can see, plastic dries out. Okay, so now the main question is, how do we join the fuselage half with wing parts? Because there are two ways. First one is we attach this part into the place. Okay. And then we go with top wing sections. But the question is how the top wing sections will be installed inside. So just give me a second. I have to try to fit the frontal area into this lower wing half. Okay, now it seems to be working more or less. I still don't like how it fits with... now I get why. So due to the cockpit pin, there is a pin on the bottom of the cockpit. It is a bit difficult to join. Oops, what was cracking? I heard the cracking. So it was difficult to join. Chancellor, hi. Thanks for the second like. Wow, undercoating the me. You are fast. I'm jealous. I'm not that fast. And then we just install the wing part in place. So as I promised, we have the second like, so I will tell you a bit more about what do we have in the envelope. But first, let me solve the wing fitment. I don't understand what is the problem, so I have to push parts a bit back and forth in order to understand what is happening. Okay. Third like, thanks. Why I'm not getting what is happening? Because the fuselage, the lower wing half actually should be covering the round air intake part, and it's not that easy to have the right fitment in the wing roots area. So that's why I'm a bit confused. Here, here. Now we get the wrong fitment on the lower wing part. So we press it a bit. I just wonder what is the problem? What is actually pushing the wing back and not letting it to fit properly with the parts? So just give me a second to understand this. And then maybe we will be able to install everything in the proper way. My guess is that this tube part is actually what is influencing this. So I have to glue it somehow into the place. I'll apply extra thin glue here. Thanks for the 4th like. That's cool. So just give me a second. I have to fix air intake in place so that we can talk about the parcel, the envelope. So here it is. I'm not lying. And just give me a second to tear it apart. And we will take a closer look. So, what do we have here? These two kits won't be suitable for the Tempest, obviously. They are for the Key 61. So we'll check them in the separate video review. But what is useful for this kit is this. Hi Adolf, but which car? Ah, previous one. I was like, yeah, I'm not making car right now. What are you talking about? And then, yeah, it's just a Tuesday, you know. So what I was talking about, we have this nice Tempest MK5 stencils set, which is designed specifically for Eduard kit. So it means in 1/48 scale. As you can see, it's a solution which can work without varnish. And it will be interesting to apply it because those decals should be easier to use than the typical decals. And basically we have whole set of the stencil. So as you remember, we have over 3 set, and it means we don't have decals, but now we have this. So we will be able to replicate some generic marking without huge letters, aircraft letters, but still we will have at least some symbols on this aircraft. So definitely now I'm making the camouflage. I'm making the classic one, and then we will apply those nice decals in order to have even better finish. So I guess part should be okay right now, and now just give me a second to... I'm quite surprised why do we have the pins here. As you can see, we have inside the pins, and I'm not sure what they're helping with. Because when you install it, actually let's try in the opposite direction. So first I do install the nose section, and then I install the rear section. Now it's way better thing, and still I think we will have to use a bit of force, maybe too much. Just give me a second. Yeah, that's too much, but still a bit of force is needed. So okay, it should be something like this. Okay. So let's start with the frontal section, because as you can see with frontal section here in the air intake area, we don't have a really perfect fitment. And I would like to fix it somehow. So I would use the extra thin glue. I would apply it in the join area. And next we are going to push a bit more in order to have this part comply with air intake section. So just be careful while doing this. Be careful with glue, because glue can get on your fingers really easy, and then oops, and then you have hard time trying to repair everything. It's not such a pleasant experience. We all know this, so be careful out there. So okay, we push this thing a bit to the side. Now I would like to fix everything in place with another drop of the extra thin glue in one angle and also in the another one. Here what is quite helpful is that we have this capillary action in the action, and this actually helps us to get the proper fitment. But I would work from side to side, because as far as you can see, when I try to attach one side, then I have problem with another one, and vice versa. So just give me a second. Actually, we can do it like this. Okay. Now we should just glue the lower area. Because lower area fits perfectly. We just need really tiny amount of glue, but I would like to go overboard here. And I would like to apply a bit more so that part can be a bit warped into the fuselage part. Okay, so now it looks as it should. Let's leave it aside for a second so that it dries completely, and then we will continue. Actually, it's always funny moment when you start building the model, you're building cockpit, etc. I mean aircraft model, and then you have to join everything and you realize that it's almost the end. I mean, come on, because next there are like several steps and it's done, and you're like maybe I do something else, maybe here, maybe there. And that's quite funny. I mean, at least with me it works like this. I don't know how it is with you, but with me it is like this. So what we have here? We need to attach also parts into the cockpit. That's quite funny why they didn't say it before. But we will attach anyway, because we have to. So there is no option for this. As far as you can see, landing gear wheel, you should be able to see it too. Landing gear wheel can be just inserted in the rear leg. That's a really cool feature because you can assemble everything all together and put it before the assembly. But frankly speaking, I don't see a point in doing this. Why? Because the landing gear leg should be in chrome silver. So basically it won't get you anything because you will have to repaint it once again once you finish the priming of the aircraft. Okay, so we have part more or less dried with glue. Now we try to glue this area. So I will apply a bit more glue here and we will see what it will do. So glue. Now we push a bit to this side. Here you can see this wing root area. I hope it is visible. If you switched to the HD quality, it should be visible. And of course, this nasty gap or the seam between the air intake halves is not that cool thing to see. So let's hope that it will be fixed by sanding. Okay, so one wing side is more or less glued. I'm thinking about using the super CA glue for this. I don't know why everybody hates decals. I'm more for decals. I don't like the painting because it's like if you do it wrong, you have to redo it once again. With decals, you just enjoy it if the decals are good. If the decals are not good, speaking politely, then you have to learn a lot of bad new words or new bad words in order to have everything in place, especially if decals are tearing apart and then you have to fix it somehow. It's like, you want to kill everybody around. Okay. So it looks like I would rather do it with CA glue because we have quite interesting fitment here. And part still is like being pushed in the contour side. So basically you can't get the right fitment. You have to press it and press it. So it's not the solution for this thing. Yeah, I did not assemble the modern aircraft. But come on, even this one is even Tempest will have a lot of stencils. So it will be a lot of fun too. Okay, so just let me. The good thing about my CA glue is that I'm having the not the extra thin but thin CA glue, and it is flowing into the gaps, and it actually helps to fix those gaps. It's really nice thing to have. And I hope that it will actually help us have the part in the right position. Okay, seems to be working. I will just remove some excess CA glue here because it shouldn't be there. Maybe even with paper towel. Okay, it worked. Now a bit more. Okay. Now paper towel is on my finger. I just love CA glue. Well, we know how it was created, the CA glue, and why it was created, so there is no surprise it is that good gluing to the skin of the modeler. But now we are going to do, well, let's give it some time to dry, because I think when I will push on the opposite side, then I will have some problem. So I'm going to give it a second to dry. Meanwhile, I'll check what we will install into the cockpit. I guess it will be really funny procedure, because as you can see, there is not that many space inside. And we will have to do it with tweezers, obviously, because otherwise it will be really tricky. So what I would like to do now, I would like to install the top wing half. It is just inserted into the fuselage, and we are good to go. As far as you can see, fitment is nice. Let me align all the ends, and we are good to go. Okay, wing roots also look okay. So I would like to start with wing end, because as you can see, we have here the special wing ends, which won't be visible on the finished aircraft, and that's a really cool feature. I wish they would do the same with the leading edges, but they did not do it. So we have to cope with this and actually glue the wing as it is. That's a bit funny part. Because we have to solve this fitment. And maybe I will use clamps in order to get the right fitment. Because, come on, I have the clamps, so I can use them. So I just press them here. And it looks like part does not attach, so I'm not going to use clamps. As far as you can see, we have quite interesting thing here. So I'll use the extra thin glue on the flaps. As you remember, we are not gluing the flaps, not building the flaps on this build. So that's why I'm gluing them with in the detail. Whose kit was it? The Su-15. This is quite funny. I remember when MiG-31 kits were just getting ready to be out, every Chinese manufacturer was hunting for for stencils, because as you remember, MiG-31 is still operational aircraft, so it's a bit difficult to get the right stencils, especially if you don't have the right connections. So that's why everybody was asking, can you get the stencils? Can you get the stencils? And that was a really funny situation. And then we saw who actually released MiG-31 in 1/48 scale. I think there is no need to remind you. I still think that AMK, yeah, I reminded you. AMK did a great work with this, because such a huge kit and such interesting design solutions are not met every day in the plastic kits, and I really appreciate that they decided to do something unusual. Not just to build another plastic kit, but to build plastic kit which will be interesting to build for any modeler actually. Now I don't get what the thing with wings, because as far as I can see it is not that easy to fit them. I'm sorry, my display might be shut down, so I won't be able to answer you, so don't be surprised if I will be silent. I forgot to charge the battery, so it switched off. That's sad. You heard it. I think also I'm having the fitment issues because of the pins. So maybe what I will do, I will attach both wings from the rear. As far as you can see, rear is more or less okay. And then I will sand the leading edges in order to have everything intact. But I'm not sure if it will be the right approach. Just let me check this half. Okay, so here we will have to glue the wing like this. And I guess we have to use CA glue. Okay, so some CA glue, not that much. That was like way too much. Okay, just apply it right on the joint. Then we just put it in front of the light in order to get it dry ASAP. Sorry for this. I guess CA glue is getting into my nose. Modeler's life is hard. Thank you for 2 more likes. I just noticed them. As I said, I don't have the tablet working, so I'm not able to see what you are commenting or if you are pressing the likes. But I really appreciate that you did press the like button. Okay, I'll let it dry a bit. The funny part will be with these parts, because as you can see, these fishtail panels will have to be applied here on the tail, and it will be quite interesting part to do. I think I will completely enjoy it. Okay, so part now should be dry in my opinion. At least it won't pop out when I will be inserting the wing half. Now this wing half fits more or less nicely, and here we have the aircraft ready to be assembled. But what I would do, I would glue only this area, the flaps area, and then I will sand the frontal attachment points, because as you can see, it's really bad fitment between those two attachment points. So we definitely need to sand them in order to get a nice fitment. So just apply the extra thin glue on the flap, really in low pressure, because I don't want to destroy the panel lines with extra thin glue. Okay. Now it looks more or less okay. I will leave it aside. So now we get bigger and bigger aircraft. Let's get the part F12 and F16. You will see what are those two parts assembling into. So where are they? Here. Come here. F12 and F16. Where is my plastic saw? Okay. 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 Those parts, I think we'll have to actually cut them off with a sharp knife, because otherwise it will be really tricky to get them together. I will show in a second why. So here we have the tail wing part. This one is a cleaned part. As you can see, that's a quite clean surface, more or less. And next we have this not clean part. And here you can notice that, just let me bring the part closer. We will put the light on it, and let's try to focus the camera. So now you can see it. Look at the attachment point. As you can see, it goes inside. So if you are going to try to join those parts together, those attachment points will be actually facing against each other. So you will have problems joining them. I mean, you will have problems with fitment, first of all, not joining them. So it's better to clean them straight away with a sharp knife, obviously, because otherwise you will just damage the leading edge and it will be even worse. Okay, so now I have these parts cleaned and I should join them, and it will be the left tail wing. Okay, let's apply a bit of extra thin glue here. Oops. Oops. I would use the clamps in order to press these parts really hard against each other. And then I would do the same with leading edge. So here we have more or less. Now we do the same with leading edge. Don't try to glue whole part at once. I've been there, I did it, it doesn't work. So just go centimeter by centimeter. I know it is slow, but it has its own benefits. So we are not hurrying anywhere, right? So that's why do not try to race somewhere with your assembly process. because otherwise you end up with ugly gaps, fingertips from the glue, and other quite beautiful stuff to have on your model, which will definitely benefit it. Okay, I'm now pushing hard this tail wing. So trumpeter, I just read it. I still have to try the trumpeter kit. It's funny, I haven't built any of their kits. So there is whole world for me to try. And I think it will be quite funny. Because I heard a lot of stuff about trumpeter kits. Good, bad. So it is interesting to test it on myself. Okay. Now I would like to go over this leading edge, and we will be ready to attach this part into the place. Okay, so let's start. Should be somewhere here, but it doesn't go inside. I wonder why. I wonder when. So just give me a second. Okay, now it seems to be okay. Let's touch it. It looks good. So now I just have to fix it in place. So again, I apply a bit generous amount of the extra thin glue. Why? Because it has to melt the plastic a bit. And then I join it here with the fuselage. Okay, now we also need part F1. So F1 is here. And it has quite interesting attachment point style. I'm not completely sure why, but as you can see, only those two attachment points will be used for the attachment. So basically whole middle section should be going away, but we have it there. So I'm not quite sure why. And here again, in a quite rare case, I'm going to use the sprue cutters in order to cut away this area and then this area. So here we have this element. Let's cut off. Some others will be really terrified by this, but I just don't want to mess around with this plastic. I just want to break it away and then we will be good to go. I will clean it with a sharp knife. But actually, as far as you can see, this tab can stay. Let's try with it, because it will be interesting to see how it goes inside with this tab. As far as you can see, it won't influence anything. So just let me clean the internal area, because we have a bit of attachment point left here. Okay, now we insert it here. So it fits with this tab as well. There is no problem whatsoever. And the only thing I will have to do is to check the alignment and then put a really thin drop of the extra thin glue from Tamiya in order to fix everything in place. I'm not even going to push it because it holds itself in place, so there is no need. And what is next? F20 and F17. So let's solve them off. Okay. Okay, so here we have them. First of all, I will clean the root section. And then I will join them together. So just like this. But let's not forget about the front attachment points, which actually have some influence on the attachment quality, let's say. So that's why we are going to cut them off with a sharp knife, and then we are good to go. So it is like this. Part looks fine. I'm going to apply a really thin layer of the glue, of the Tamiya glue. Let's push it aside. Okay, I'm pressing the two halves together in order to get a proper joint. Let's dry it a bit. Okay, now it's dry. I'll continue with the opposite end. Here we also apply a bit of glue. Okay. Now we go on with the frontal area. Okay. Just going nicely together. I like the fitment overall. Maybe there are some things to push, press, but I think it's also due to my hands. So if you're careful enough, you'll get an even better result than me. Keep this in mind. Okay, another drop of glue and we will be ready to install this part. So wait a bit for plastic to melt and now push it together. Oops. Okay, now it looks fine. We'll clean it tomorrow because plastic needs time to dry. Fitment is okay, so I just place a bit of glue here on this area and once more, and we will install it into the fuselage here. Okay. It seems to be holding in place, and I'll cut off the final part for today. That's the part number 3, which copies elevator. And basically we have almost all sprues covered. There are some minor things left to be installed onto the aircraft, but that's not serious, it will be really fast. So I have to calculate total amount of hours that were needed in order to build this, let's say, basic structure, but we have what we have. And now I'm installing the elevator. The fitment is really nice. I like the detailing on the elevator. It looks really good. I'll apply again layer of the extra thin glue here and there, and we will be good to go. So as you can see, today we glued the fuselage halves, we also installed the wing, joined it together with fuselage, and we also installed the tail wings. So tomorrow we will proceed with some cockpit parts, because as you can see, cockpit is not finished yet. There are also some minor elements in the tail area, and also here and here and here and here. So quite plenty of stuff to do, I would say. I would also maybe apply the rear landing gear doors in order to have them fixed in place before the assembly, but we will see. As far as you can see, fitment is more or less okay. Wing roots look fine. Not from this side though. So just give me a second. Maybe it's a matter of pushing, yeah, a bit more. Now it's in the spot. So as far as you can see, what should be done here is the extra thin glue, and then we will be good to go. And what else? And that's pretty much all. As I said, we are coming to the priming and sanding stage, so stay tuned. Of course, thank you for joining today. Don't forget to press the like button because it helps us greatly, and I will see you in the next swipe video.